Hello everybody. Um, I'm trying to make a short video explaining how to do stuff like earpieces and wings and horns completely in Vroid Studio because there was a question and it seems like there are no newer tutorials for it. It's not like I planned this out right now, I'm just doing it on the fly. So if this is a little bit slow, please don't mind it. First of all, I didn't know Vroid Studio. I'm going to close this. I didn't know Vroid Studio was on Steam. I had a very old version of 1.4.1 that I generally used, but I downloaded the new version on Steam because I thought maybe this is a problem if I had an old version and always did it in an old version. Maybe this didn't help. Here are my avatars. For showing purposes, I will create. Let's just do this. I create a new one. Let's just shortly look. Yep, that looks fine. I don't want my PNG to be in the way, but maybe it is. Yes, it is. I will make myself a little bit smaller and put myself here because these on the side are important. There you go. Okay. What is important when you want to do special stuff? It is the hair. Hair does everything. Why? Because Vroid Studio has something. You can see all my extra stuff, and just for showing purposes, like these earrings are just hair textured, and that's why you have edit hair bones, which is generally the physic that is applied to everything, and you can just fine-tune how the earpieces behave or how everything else behaves. And that is the key part on like everything for everything you want to make. So generally, obviously, if you want to make horns, they gotta be stiff as hell. If you want something like earpieces and maybe they want to flow, then they obviously should have a little bit of give. You need to try that. But back to the main course, I just for showing its hairstyle, then it is extra. I generally use the extra part to do everything. Then you start on presets, you go on customs, and then you add just new, and you get something like this. This you can then, with edit hairstyle, Like I said, the edit hair bounce is for the physics, edit hairstyle is for everything else. So we're gonna start with a freehand group. There are two differences. Freehand group is just this net, which we will be working with. Procedural hair is like pre-produced hair, but that is not what we want. We want the freehand group. So on the materials, please ignore everything else. You will have this standard material. Now, we want to make wings. First, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this flat. As you can see, it is like curving on the face. So we're gonna scroll here until we reach until we reach fit to head. We don't want it to fit to the head. We want just a flat piece. And generally I like to work with like less points, but you can do as you want. This is for symmetry, so if you do something on the left side, it will do the same on the right side. It's generally easier. So I will click on the last point and just drag it to the side. It's a little bit much. Now we have something like this. Of course, it looks awful as hell. But if we do like something like this, we now have something that resembles something funky. And we're gonna continue to like shape it the way we want to. Like the smoother you want it, the smoother it should be. Same goes for like this part. That should be fine. If I remember right. That did nothing. Okay. Like I said, I'm just trying to. I will do this a little bit outside. Like I said, I want to have it as smooth as possible. And now we have a sombrero-like thing. What we're gonna do now is these keys. These move this net how you want it. So, first of all, I like to rotate because I want to see where I go. Resize, generally you don't need to touch resize. It's pretty much self-explanatory. It's just for making it a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, but keeping everything else. we want like the move part and the rotate part. What I like to do is just pull it a little bit back, because I want to work with it without the model being in the way. That is fine. And I saw that the question came from someone that has like a fairy pixie type character. So I'm gonna try to like make a small pixie wings. So after the selection part, we're going to the brush part. And this is like really drag and drop. And as you can see, the hair, aka the wings, follow exactly the build that you made. And now, to make it a little bit easier, or wait, before I do that, I will like drag this out like this. Now we have like the 4 wings. And we want to work with everything. So we're gonna go back to selection. We have the group with the 4 hairs, the 4 wings. And now you can like adjust the width. And funny enough, this is already like pretty good. In my mind, a little bit of a trick. As you can see, the slider goes to 3, but you can, for example, type in 5, enter, and now the ratio is on 5. 5 is a little bit better, in my opinion. And now we're gonna, something that you also can keep in mind is the curve, which can be straight, which I personally don't like, but maybe you have a character with like this shape or form. For pixie wings, fluffy is a lot better. Triangle, bottomless triangle is a little bit more curved inwards. It's a little bit hard to see, but if you go back to triangle, you see it's much more like outside. Or flat. I personally, the diamond shape has like a, like the hair is diamond shaped. It is a 3D model and not a flat piece. If that explains it. Wait, I can show it off. If you go to straight, you can see this diamond shape. And if you go to triangle, it's only the half. Bottomless triangle is only like a flat piece that is curved inwards. And flat is just straight up flat. So I'm going back to diamond and to fluffy. And now again, we are on the move part. For this, you just need to touch the corresponding angles. And like put it how you see it fit. Of course, you need to adjust for the close and stuff. I will put it just as an explanation. I will put it like about here. Yeah, play with everything that is here. Like, see if you like it, remember what you had before, put it back if you don't like it. That's all there is to it. And if you have materials, for example, you can give it like a plant-like look. Or maybe something like this. Can I go in there? Yes. Here is the arrows down. You can go to edit texture and you see this is my texture. Of course, you need to see and come up with what you want. I recommend like finding or making textures that you are happy with. Like for example, a pinkish colorful style as a texture, and then just try it out. You can add, for example, stuff here and drag it in, try it out. Again, play with the stuff. Of course, you can just draw it. I wouldn't recommend it because this it is not really made for. It is not really made for this kind of stuff, in my opinion. But yeah, of course, you can choose whatever you want for every material. And maybe if you like this stuff, and now we're gonna just go on the X, save as a new item. I would never override it because I don't think there's a stop to what it is. Sorry, that was a little bit fast. My PC is acting up. Now now you are on your part, and now you have the extra part here. Please keep in mind, you can only have one extra part. You cannot have something else here and then the wings. So please keep that in mind. If you have like hair on other positions, I think that also works, but I like to do it on the extra parts. Now we go on to extra, onto the added bones. You can create bones. You can select how many bones it is. Now it's gonna pop up a question mark. Wonderful. If you can read it up here, generally what it is, like I said, these are the moving parts of your body. So if you're gonna auto-generate, I don't like it. You can also like delete bone group. And then these are the two options. Like you auto-generate. Generally what the program is doing then is like taking every piece by itself, which is not wrong, but generally I think it is too complicated. I like to do it like for one piece. But try it out for yourself. Try to auto-generate with 14 bones. Try to auto-generate with 20 bones. And now, if you like click on the bone group, you have how many bones. You have this black little piece, and this is generally how your bones behave. So you have 4 bones. Not generally necessary, I would say, but let's try it out. Fix point is like where it starts. If you put the fix point like away from where it actually starts, it just starts on this point. So, for example, if you have wings, you want to have it a little bit. Want to have a little bit away from the center point, because you don't want the center point to curve. You just want to like the end part to maybe wiggle a little bit. Gravity is pretty self-explanatory. Gravity decides how much the gravity takes effect on your wings. Stiffness is how stiff they are. If I would put them on, if I would put them on 1, that would be just staying there. But just to try it out, to make an example, it's not necessarily the right one. I would personally like make them stiff. Maybe put the fixed point really make it stiff. Maybe try to put the fixed point far away, and then try to look how it works. We will just, you know what? We will just try that. Of course, again, if you want, you can put your own numbers in there. Save as a new item. Or you can override at this part, because it is, like I said, yet now you have a double, and one is like doesn't have a bone structure and the other one has. Which is on this part I would personally override. Now, the main test. You go to the photo section, and now my PC just doesn't want to work. Okay, now we have like the model, and you can go on poses and animations. And as you can see, the wings start flapping around. And they wiggle around. Why are they doing this? Because how I put the fixed point. And if you see, like, the down part moves and the upper part doesn't. When I see this, I would personally say, again, these animations are perfect to like trial and error this stuff. So I would sadly wait for remove and create bone. Now I have two bone groups, and this is not right. What I did there is push the button move to group center, but I don't think they did a really good job of this. We can try this out. And we will let this just as it is. To have a comparison override. The thing is you can, this is hindsight of mine. There are different gravities, obviously, and different physics should be applied to the upper and the lower. If you have just two dragon wings, for example, like the same physics are just fine. Again, going back, I won't repeat this until I have the final cut. I just want to see how the wings behave. As you can see, the bottom part was a lot less stiff and has a little bit of a longer fixed point. And if you go back to the photo booth, that is also something, it goes immediately to the last one you picked. So you can always, like, it moves, okay, I'm gonna go back, I try again, I'm gonna go back. Personally, I would say this is not too bad. Maybe a little bit more stiff, and maybe a little bit more here, but this is all preference, of course. As you can see, the upper ones are way too stiff, or the upper ones are way too pushed back too far. And the center one, as you can see, they don't. What you want is that they behave the same. So she leans left. The wings start flowing, as you can see on the bottom. In my opinion, of course. Yeah, this is generally it. If you have any questions aside from that, feel free to ask. And yeah, I think it is way too long. Gee, sorry. But I hope it helps. And I hope I don't store your time. Bye bye.